This morning, I'm fleshing a boar cape. These guys have huge shields of cartilage. I've already fleshed off a lot of this, but we still got some thickness down here. Look how thick this is. These can be 2 or 3 inches thick. This is pure cartilage. Every time I post a picture or video of me doing this, somebody will say, oh, you can pressure wash that off, or I don't know, any number of things that, with all due respect, not true, because this is thick stuff. I can't even take it over to my fleshing machine right now because it won't bend enough for me to be able to take across the machine effectively. So I like to use this really long knife. This is a Victorinox knife here, and it works well by kind of going in this motion. And watch how this just comes right off the end. That works pretty well for me. That's a pretty good swipe right there. This is already way thinner. Not bad. With just a few swipes, I can bend this shield right down. And as you get to these areas where it looks bumpy, that's starting to show the hair follicles right there. So that's when you know you've gone far enough. You can see this is a very sharp knife, but the amount of effort I'm having to put into it, that's just how thick this shield is. And that's about good right there. Look how I've thinned that down now. This works great. So it's a lot of work, but worth it in the end. This is why I have to charge so much for a boar mount. Just the fleshing is so much different than any other animal. I'll move it around this beam so that I can access the thicker areas. Now they do make some knives that have a handle on the other side. That might be a little easier on the left palm, but I have never been able to get those knives sharp enough. Maybe it's just me, but I enjoy this Victorinox knife. It's not too bad on my palm. I'm not going to be doing this for hours. I've got 2 of these to flesh today. These areas right here are not so much cartilage as they are just soft fat, but this also works pretty good for taking that down. Anything I can get off before having to take it over to my fleshing machine is going to make things a lot easier. This is already so much more flexible than it was just 10 minutes ago when we started out really thick. And that's how you flesh a boar shield. That's looking better. Dinner. Get in there. Let's see. See how it's not very flexible. It's frustrating to me when people compare this to fleshing a big beaver. A lot of trappers will say, been there, done that. I've had to flesh 100-pound beavers. Not the same animal. This actually isn't grease. This isn't that greasy. This is cartilage. And I've not really seen a beaver that had much cartilage. Maybe on its neck, but this isn't fat. This is actual cartilage. So just saying, this isn't the same as a beaver or a bear. Check it out now. This is the same spot in the picture earlier. Let's take a look back at that picture just to refer to the thickness. Yep, it's nice and thin now. What you're looking for is to see these dimples. The little bit of dip and fall from all my cuts will now be smoothed off on the flesher. Now I can move this and it's quite flexible, and I can take it over to my fleshing machine and final flesh it like I would any other hide. But before it was too thick to even manipulate on the machine. But this is how you want it to look. If you start to get into darker spots like this tiny little hole there, that means you're getting too deep when you start to see the hair roots and the really dark blue. So that's what I'm aiming for, and now I'll polish it off on my actual shaving machine. To explain the difference in cartilage and fat, this is another hog that I have up here. This is the one that I was fleshing just a minute ago with the cartilage. Now this may look the same, but this is not cartilage. This hog didn't have a shield. This is fat. It's really, really soft. I can dent it with my fingers, and it is just a dream to flesh off. This comes right off. It's soft. So I hope that shows you the difference in fat, which is, very soft, and honestly, this is enjoyable right here. But that one had cartilage. It may look the same from this angle, but it's not. Oh, that's so satisfying, isn't it? On the fat, it's less of the chipping and more, you can do one nice fluid motion. I'm proceeding cautiously because I don't want to cut a hole. I want to make a nice, even, smooth surface if I can, since this one has fat and not a shield. I'm really enjoying this. Crazy the things some of us enjoy. But watch that. Tell me that isn't satisfying. Once you know what you're doing, you will find that you can flesh one of these in about 20 to 30 minutes, which I think is not too bad for chipping the cartilage off. And I don't even have to go to the gym. Keeps my arms in shape. Hope you enjoyed.